Is it just fear mongering and paranoia that I spread on this channel? Is that all I'm good for? Just trying to get likes and subscribes by making things seem really terrible, worse than they really are when it comes to prednisone? Hi, I'm Dr. Megan, the prednisone pharmacist, and I got a comment on one of my videos saying that that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm scaremongering and just trying to feed the algorithm. And while apparently that might work for some politicians and, characters out there, my purpose on this channel is to educate people so that they can make a very informed decision about their own personal health. And so I want to read this comment so you understand what the context is. And then I'm going to respond to it in more depth and even share a few responses from fellow prednisone warriors who support this channel because I don't agree. So let's see what this person says. I understand the importance of such information and respect your good intentions, but your channel seems to send a lot of negative signals. We cannot forget many people take prednisone because that's the only choice they have. I've been a pharma researcher. I've spoken to hundreds of patients, doctors, and pharmacists for my research. And on this topic, I have noticed people face adverse reactions if it's prescribed for a really long period in high doses, or when administered without any precautions. Scaremongering cannot help. People who take Preds as per their cortisol spikes with necessary diet and supplementary support alongside a positive mindset on a reasonable dose and period rarely show serious side effects. While some of the effects may persist once the course is done, we are once again spreading paranoia. Healthy individuals, too, system retain a lot of toxins and heavy metals. Absolutely no point in worrying about it. So that is what this person said, who's apparently spoken to hundreds of patients, doctors, and pharmacists. I have also talked to hundreds, actually thousands of patients, maybe not doctors, but I've read hundreds of doctors' medical charts. And I am a pharmacist and I've surveyed thousands of pharmacists. And I have to completely beg to differ that when it comes to prednisone, pharmacists voted it the number one most likely to cause side effect drug that they considered to be the most harmful thing. All right, that's what pharmacists said. Phone calls, emails, texts, thousands and thousands of comments on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all the socials have confirmed to me how vital this information is that I share on this channel. Now, I agree that a lot of what I share is scary. A lot of what I share is painful to hear. And so, right now, I want to share the good news first. For me personally, prednisone is a complete miracle. I would probably not be here today. I would probably be dead without prednisone. I have an autoimmune condition called ITP, and it made my own body attack my blood cells, making it so I was at risk for bleeding to death. I was hospitalized and I was given very high doses for a very long time to overcome this. The only way I got off of prednisone was with chemotherapy. Without prednisone, I probably would have just died and my children would be motherless and this channel would not exist and on and on. It would be very sad. I love life. I am so grateful that prednisone allowed me to continue to be on this planet a little bit longer. And so I'm not the only person that prednisone helps. It's a miracle for so many people who have arthritis and can suddenly open a bottle, for people who have asthma and can suddenly breathe and not feel like they're going to die because they might without the prednisone. In the hospital, there's a saying nobody should die without prednisone. That if you don't know what's causing their death, well, just try to give them some steroids and see what happens. Prednisone is truly a miracle, and I am so grateful for it. I want to make sure that news is clearly shared. The guy who invented it received a Nobel Prize, and he deserved it. It has changed so many lives for the better, mine being the number one that I know of. But I and many others feel very betrayed by the medical establishment for not sharing the side effects. completely, thoroughly, or at all, and warning somebody before they took the first pill what might actually happen. I personally believed, like this person, that I've noticed people face adverse reactions if it's prescribed for a really long, long period in high doses or when administered without any precautions. That's what I thought. I thought when I first got my first dose that if I only took 10 days, I wouldn't have to worry about it. No side effects. It's not a problem. And that seems to be what this person's implying, that if you only take it short term, there's no side effects and absolutely no point in worrying about it. Except that the people who reach out to me the most desperately are the people who've taken it for really short term because they were normal and then got like poison ivy or a rash or a cough or something. Whatever it was that their doctor decided they needed the prednisone for, they were like normal, healthy person who got a rash, took prednisone, and life feels like it's over. They feel terrible after 1, maybe 2, possibly up to 5 days worth of prednisone. And there absolutely is a point in worrying about it for these people. In fact, that's all they seem to do is worry, have paranoid feelings. When you talk about spreading paranoia, these people actually are having panic attacks. They're having psychotic events happen. The side effects of prednisone have their own diagnosis code for mental illness. It's called steroid psychosis. This isn't made up and pretend. This is a diagnosis code a doctor can put in the hospital notes. These are real and they happen a lot faster than the medical establishment leads people to believe. Some really do happen long, long term. But even one of them that I personally was completely convinced I didn't need to worry about at all because I was only going to be on it short term was osteoporosis. I thought that osteoporosis was just something that happened to little old ladies and happened after like a year of being on prednisone. But that's not true. The biggest bone loss happens in the first 3 months of taking prednisone. Yes, I totally agree that with this part of it saying people who take prednisone with necessary diet and supplementary support alongside a positive mindset on a reasonable dose should be doing those things. Yes, definitely have a reasonable diet, low sugar, low salt, definitely be supplementing. In fact, I think that's so important that I invented Nutrinizone as the supplement people need while on prednisone because I needed it. I was suffering so badly with horrible side effects that I was like, there's got to be something we can do. And I created this supplement with all the nutrients that people need while on prednisone to help with the bones, to help with the immune system, to help with sleep, to help with metabolism and weight gain and all of the things that prednisone is doing. This is there to support you. And this has changed so many lives that people take prednisone along with it and suddenly they don't feel so horrible. So, yes, I agree. We need necessary diet and supplementary support. But I'm not spreading paranoia just to get likes and subscribes. I'm not purposefully saying this all to spread paranoia. I'm saying it because people need to be warned. Like people feel so betrayed by their doctor. Nobody told me I was going to feel this way, is what I hear all the time. Nobody said I was going to get anxiety. Nobody said I was going to gain 50 pounds. Nobody said I was going to break bones and have to get a hip replacement in my 30s and be in a wheelchair. Nobody told me, is what everyone tells me all the time. And they beg me to keep sharing this message. A young woman in Canada reached out to me over the phone over the weekend. I couldn't answer it because I was at church. And she was like, I am desperate. They're not listening to me in the hospital. And nobody understands why my heart rate is 155 when I'm lying down. Nobody understands why I'm feeling these panicky feelings. I feel like I'm not a part of my body anymore. I feel like I'm going to die right now. And how long had she been taking it? 5 days. Not long, long time. Just 5 days. Here's some other people who had commented below of what they had felt. Jody says, I really don't think she's fear mongering. She's informing people. Too many doctors, pharma workers, and medical so-called experts assume people are too stupid to think for themselves. I greatly appreciate these videos and information. I will continue learning and making my own choices. Tamara says, I'm sorry, but I strongly disagree with you. I never read the leaflet before starting prednisone. And I have a medical background and had the same opinion as you have now. And when I started to experience adverse events, she calls it AEs, I was told by several physicians and pharmacists that they were surprised to hear that I had so many symptoms. It wasn't until I found Dr. Megan's page that I knew I wasn't special or crazy. I can only assume that you haven't been on prednisone for a long time or several short periods. Otherwise, you would know what the impact is. Please educate yourselves before commenting on Dr. Megan's page, someone who has the professional and personal experience of prednisone. Thank you, Tamara. Amen to everything you just said. Amen. Yes, +1. And then Nina says, I was only on it for 5 days, went into severe depression, had debilitating anxiety and panic attacks. Almost 4 years later, my depression is much better, as is anxiety, but I'm still battling on a freaking daily basis my mental health issues that I had never known until my second dose of prednisone. Never been the same after. She took 2 pills and it has destroyed her mental health. No one warned her about it. And then she goes on to say, going to add, if I hadn't found this channel the very first day of my side effects, I have no idea if I would have been here today. I went from sitting at a kitchen table listening to my sister speaking to running outside because all of a sudden it was like someone came up to me and just turned off a switch in my head and all of the positive neurotransmitters. I had no idea what happened, just realized something is way, way, way off. And so bad, I couldn't sit still in place. As I ran outside, my mind skidded to what could be happening. And the only thing I could think was I started taking prednisone the day before. So I started researching like crazy, stumbled upon this channel and understood that I wasn't going crazy, though it sure did feel like it. I was in complete terror nonstop for many months afterwards. That it was the steroid that was making me feel like it. So for me, this information on this channel was in fact life-saving. Obviously, completely understand and acknowledge that prednisone helps very many people. And so, yes, I do share scary stuff that may make a few people feel paranoid, but I don't do it just for the heck of it. I do it because people need to know I saved somebody's life by posting on this channel. She knew that it was the prednisone causing her to be completely unhinged mentally. Somebody's life was saved because of what someone else is accusing as fear mongering. It's not fear mongering when it's needed. And I feel like dropping this mic right now because, amen. Like, if you think that what they are telling you about prednisone is the complete truth in the package insert that the pharmacist prints off or that the medical textbook tells you is not complete. And that's because prednisone, like I said, the guy received a prize for it. He's amazing. But he did that before my dad was born. Like, it was that long ago that there was nobody doing studies like they require now. The FDA requires drug companies to do very thorough studies to find out exactly what the side effects are. But guess what? There was no drug company doing those studies, so there is no list. And so the information out there is just wrong. If not blatantly wrong, it's incomplete. And so it's not like what you've shared here is not true. People suffer side effects after just one dose, and they are life-changing. And if you're feeling desperate, like you need some help, then you should download my prednisone checklist. You can click the link below and it will give you a checklist of all of those things this person alluded to that might be helpful. But you know exactly that you're following through with every single thing you can do to support your health so that you can feel the best possible while on prednisone. If you're like me and you literally have no choice but to take prednisone, then let's make it the best positive experience you can have. That although you have to take it, let's minimize the side effects so that the balance of benefits and risks are the best they can be for you. So just click the link below to download my prednisone checklist now. Signing off is Dr. Megan, your prednisone pharmacist.